Welcome back to the Mike and Athena show. And Mike and Athena, no, it's Camille Sanders from Chic
Romance Travel.
Chic Romance Travel.
Yep.
If you watch this, her commercial plays every 10 minutes here, so I should know the name right now. Chic Romance Travel. In fact, that's why you're advertising on Central Valley Talk, because it's people will know that your name.
Right.
Even if you only advertise for a month, they'll remember it a year from now because it just hits over and over and over. Now, we've had you on a couple of our shows, a wedding show, because Chic Romance Travel helps people get their wedding travel together. Talk about, what do you call it, destination weddings? Destination
weddings or honeymoons or just group travel, you know.
And that's what we want to talk today about after the wedding. So you do your destination wedding, you can get all your guests there, your parents there, and you can help people do that kind of cheaper than
Yes,
average
definitely.
person.
Yeah, they can definitely save money by doing a destination wedding than having to rent a hall and everything here locally.
And the idea is after your destination wedding, or if you just get married locally and you want to travel for your honeymoon,
you
need to go to Chic Romance Travel.
Right. Exactly.
So tell us about the honeymoon travel. Where do people even start?
They start with contacting us, and we can help put together a package based on what they would like to experience and memories that they would like to have for their honeymoon or anniversaries. And
do they come to you with a budget, or do they come to you with an idea of where they want to go?
It depends. Some clients will have a budget that they want to work within, which is great because we can help them with that. And then a lot of times we can actually include additional extras and things like that they don't even know they can get.
So people who think they can do it on their own, because everybody's an internet expert now.
Yes.
You can actually get little things thrown in or some extras.
Exactly, extra things. And I'm with you every step of the way.
Oh, you go on the honeymoon with them?
Not quite that far, but if they had an issue when they're abroad, then they can always contact me and I can help them out.
I have a nightmare story. I went to a wedding in San Diego. It's a destination. And it was one of those trains, planes, and automobiles. Everything went wrong in the trip down there. There was some kind of accident on the freeway. I actually pulled up to the wedding. It was my cousin and my wife who was driving me. I just said, and we're not dressed or anything because we're going to be there an hour and a half early. We got there. The wedding started. I jumped out, grabbed my clothes, and she's looking for a parking spot. This is in San Diego. It was a mess. So, but I booked my own room at the hotel. And so we went to the wedding, got quite happy,
yep.
And go to the hotel, and I booked it myself on one of these online. They go, oh, no, we don't have rooms. We're going to accommodate you at another hotel, which is stinky and terrible.
And by working with a travel agency, that we have what's called a no-walk policy. So anybody that books through us, if for some reason, and a lot of the resorts will become full, occupancy levels will sell out sometimes months in advance. They have the resorts, anybody that's booked off of .com, they will actually be walked to a different hotel.
It's probably in the small print somewhere.
It is. And so with booking through a company, travel agency like mine, we're able to make sure that you don't get walked from that hotel.
Don't get walked. See, I didn't even know the term. I didn't even get walked. I just got pointed. Now, with the experience I'm describing, if you had booked it for me, I'd call you.
Yes, you would call me.
Nobody to call.
Exactly. You would call me. I would call the front desk. We would have it taken care of, and you would be set. I've had quite a few different stories where clients have tried to book on their own and then realize it went south bad and came home.
Expensive for us, to take the day off and travel, and we didn't have all the money, and you get there, and the one little vacation I was going to have that year was just a mess, and we were upset, and it caused a lot of tension.
Can you imagine, Mike, if that would have been an international travel down in Mexico or Caribbean where you didn't speak the language, and now you're stuck at the front desk not knowing what to do.
So besides knowing where to go and where the deals are, you know the rules.
Yes.
The no-walk rule.
Exactly.
Or whatever,
definitely.
And what the fine print is. People probably always come to you after and say, I had a horrible vacation. Next time I'm calling you.
And that's what happens. They end up calling and coming back. So
so honeymoons. So they come to you with either an idea or a budget or whatever, and you get them in the right direction.
Exactly. So depending on what they want to experience, if it's Mexico or great food and wine or culture, they can contact us, give us some ideas of what they're looking at doing or would like to do, and then we can, make that happen, whether it's going to Mexico, Caribbean, South Pacific, Italy. There's some great tours in Italy right now for honeymooners or those wanting to do, romance travel, couples getting away. Tahiti has some really good packages going on right now also.
All of my kids have got to go to Europe. I have not.
Okay.
They all went with college trips, which they put those together really nicely.
Yes.
But when the parent needs to go, then we'll call you.
Yes, definitely.
So, and two of my kids got to do one got to do 2 semesters in Italy and one did
study
one
abroad.
semester. Yeah.
I used to actually book those.
Did you really? Yeah.
Yep, worked.
Help colleges book it.
Yep,
so.
definitely.
Never thought that colleges must use travel agencies too.
They do use travel agencies.
Now I want to start with, if you're going to do a trip out of Fresno or leaving here or whatever.
Right.
Before we talk about the world, let's talk about California. Are there great places to go here?
There are great places, over to Napa, places like that. San Diego is a great place to get away.
I was just in a discussion today on Facebook, and they were looking at that train. Napa
train.
train.
Yep, the Napa wine train.
Can you book that?
Yes, travel agencies can definitely book that. My particular travel agency, our niche is Mexico, Caribbean, South Pacific, and Italy.
So you're really plugged into
plugged into the international market.
Okay, so say them again.
Mexico, Caribbean.
And what's the Caribbean? Is that by Cuba or something?
I've
never been out of Fresno.
Right now it's Cuba, though I don't recommend Cuba at the moment until we figure out what happens with all the political stuff.
Trump could change his mind like
yes,
that.
and so I would hold off on Cuba until we find out.
The Caribbean, and Italy?
Italy, and then South Pacific. So Australia, New Zealand, Tahiti, Bora Bora, places like that.
I bet the people who've already done the Mexico and Europe thing, I bet that South Pacific would be the thing.
Yes, definitely. Yep, Tahiti. Yeah, Windstar has some great small yachts that are around 200 people, so they can get into really quaint little cove areas that most big ships or hiking, on foot would be hard to get into.
And the people who want to get away from the touristy group, tours and stuff.
Right.
They have opportunity for that?
Definitely, yeah. You can always do either an escorted tour if you want, small group, large group, or you can do independent traveler, and we can actually plan an itinerary based on what you guys, what you want to do. So
I wouldn't want to just get there and figure it out myself, but I wouldn't want to go on a big group of geriatrics. I'm a young 60-year-old. So.
Right, yep. No, there's some smaller
so you can set
group.
up a little, how we could travel on our
Definitely,
own. Tell
yeah.
us where to go and what to do.
I did a few years ago. I did a trip from Venice down to Rome, and it was all done small group, 12 of us. We had a blast. We stopped at a couple different towns along the way. Stopped and did a wine tasting tour in a small little cobblestone town, and it was beautiful.
I want to get off the bus. I want to get and
off
walk
the beaten
up and down the streets
track.
And really experience it. So where should one start? I guess it's the budget.
Budget and time. You really need to.
Cheaper, or it doesn't really matter.
It depends on what you want to do. Mexico is less expensive right now because a lot of the resorts are all inclusive, which highly recommend.
That's food's paid for.
Yep, all the food, entertainment, activities,
what about
meals, drinks, including including your alcohol is included, tips, gratuity, your tips.
Because I've been on trips and cruises, and it seems so affordable, but by the time you're done, you've racked up. I spent $1,000 extra before,
right?
So,
exactly.
So all inclusive might really help.
It is really, and that's one of the questions I always get, whether it's a destination wedding or a honeymoon or just a couple getting away. Should we do all inclusive or should we do what they call European EP style, where it's just the hotel and tax? And we find that in the long run, the majority of guests actually save by doing an all-inclusive.
I guess if you're really, really tightwadded, maybe you don't drink alcohol, and
even if you
don't eat that much,
right? Even if you don't drink or rarely drink, alcohol, it still will save you money in the long term. Yeah.
Can you give us any examples on prices, or is that? We didn't talk about this ahead of time.
As far as pricing goes, I can give you the time of season, the best time to travel.
Well, if I'm going to go to Mexico, say, and I want something a little exotic, and even for just a few days, and can I go for 200, or I need 1,000 or 5,000?
Usually, on average, 12 to 1,500 per person is pretty average for an all-inclusive, and that would include your meals, drinks, activities, entertainment, tips.
So if a couple saved up $2,500,
$2,500 to $300,
vacation.
to $3,000 is pretty good to start out with.
And it could go up to 10,000.
Yeah, depending on, and it really depends on the type of resort you're staying in, type of room, whether it's a garden view, ocean front. All of those play into the price factor.
So start saving up. Start with a couple thousand and go see Camille and find out what's up.
And even better, they can actually contact me, put it down a deposit, especially if they booked out in advance. Yeah. And then we have something called an easy payment plan. Once the deposit is paid, they can pay so much a month and have it paid off 60 days prior to travel, kind of like a layaway plan.
Yeah, layaway plan. I never get the money, but I could do that.
Yeah, a lot of people can do that.
Camille's going to need her money on the purse.
And we don't charge extra to do that. No, exactly. No, exactly.
What about travel insurance? You recommend that?
Highly recommend the travel insurance. I have, and I always have clients that are like, well, I'm going regardless if I'm sick or not, and I always tell them it is the weirdest things that happen that you have to use travel insurance. I've seen for destination weddings, I've seen where the father of the bride had a heart attack the day before the wedding in Mexico.
Say that. I didn't want to bring it up, but I was going to say I saw that happen before too.
Yeah, and I just had somebody actually 2 weeks ago going to Cancun, flew into Cancun, and then was getting onto the transfer, him and his wife and their child, and he didn't have the proper documentation and was met by federals, the police there, and was actually escorted back and put on a 7 a.m. flight out of Cancun back to Los Angeles to get. So
now, do you got to be careful with the travel insurance? Is there bad travel insurance and good travel insurance?
There are certain travel insurances that are good and bad, but by going through a travel agent, you'll find they have the best travel insurance.
And this is kind of the point I was getting to at the beginning of the story. I traveled once. So I'm not an expert, and you do it every day, person after person after person.
Right.
You've seen what can go wrong, like the travel insurance issues.
Oh,
you know which is a good travel insurance, a bad travel insurance, the good places to stay. In fact, you go stay there.
Yes, I do.
You go see that. Where have you been?
As we talked about in a couple other, just was in Cabo a week and a half ago. Cancun, Riviera Maya, Jamaica, Dominican Republic is beautiful.
So when you recommend a place, you can say, I recommend it because I've seen it.
Yes, exactly. And I can actually say I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it, I've tasted it, I felt it. So, and I don't recommend anything I wouldn't actually personally stay myself. So.
Now, I'm being invited to a family reunion later this summer. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yes. Do a lot of...
Those are almost always destination things,
yes,
aren't they?
And they are. And they're a lot of fun because you can get a group together, experience the location, create memories together, and, do some traveling together. So highly recommend it,
Same thing. They could go to Mexico or further. And
wherever they want to go, we can help them do that.
We do the family reunion every other year so people could really save up, maybe go to a nicer place. Because if they decide.
Definitely.
So if you're going to a family reunion this summer, call Camille and say, Camille, I want to make a presentation for the one we're having next year or 2 years from now.
Right.
And you could get it going.
And get it going, and people can start putting deposits down and start making payments. Also, those that are doing, having a 5-year or 10-year anniversary coming up, not only where we're seeing a trend where not only are those couples going, but they're also bringing friends and family with them to share in the experience. So
if you're having an anniversary, call. If you're having a family reunion, call. If you're getting married, call.
Or if you're turning 40 and you want to get a group of friends together and go, have a birthday bash somewhere, call. I can help do that too.
I have know somebody who's getting married, and the girls, I guess you call it the bachelorette party, they're going on a cruise. Is that a common thing these days?
It is a common thing,
to travel away?
To travel. Some will go to Mexico for 3 or 4 days, which kind of gives them the big bang for the buck type thing. And
one thing the traveling what do you call bachelorette party or bridesmaid party is it gets them out of here.
Yes.
Gets them somewhere and it's just them together. They got to bond and be together and have one last fun fling with the girls before the wedding.
And guys are doing the same thing.
Yep. Where might the guys go?
Mexico, Jamaica have been the big,
Is there gambling in all these places?
A few of the places have gambling. Punta Cana has it, which is great. Little distance for us to get there, but once you get there, it's beautiful.
And they'll have a little drinking?
Oh, yes.
It is a bachelor party after all.
It's a bachelor and bachelorette party, yes.
We're running out of time, but what else you want to tell our viewers? Anything you want to talk about?
Just make sure to to contact a travel agency or myself, with Chic Romance, because we can, help you get there and plan it.
If you're even thinking of trying it yourself, just call Camille.
Yes,
She's
definitely.
free. It's free to call, right?
Yep, free
just
to call.
Call her and ask, because you're going to be surprised, because there's so many mistakes you could make.
Yes.
And everybody thinks they're an expert now at fixing their own plumbing and at planning their own wedding and
Right.
stuff. At Cinder Valley Talk, we've learned the hard way. Call professionals. At least call and get their advice before you do anything.
And I've been in the business over 28 years, and been doing romance travel for over 12 now. So
she's seen all the mistakes.
Yes.
You don't have to make them. She's been through them.
I'll save you
she's
time and stress.
pioneered the way.
Yes, exactly.
And let it go. Well, let's talk about how they reach you.
They can a couple places. They can either contact my 800 number. It's 800-432-1752, or go to chicromancetravel.com, or email at camille@chicromancetravel.com. I'm also on the internet, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Okay. Just type Chic Romance.
Yep, Chic Romance Travel in Google, and you will find all the outlets. Yes.
It's CHIK or CHIC?
CHIC.
Looks like Chick Romance, CHIC, if you're not a good speller, like CHIC, romancetravel.com.
Right.
Now, if they just want some ideas, they can go to your website?
Yep, they can go to the
some good
website.
travel
Definitely.
destinations?
Also, my Facebook site. There's also good information and ideas and itinerary suggestions.
If you really can't reach Camille, call us here at Cinder Valley Talk. I'll give you her direct phone number. I
Definitely.
have it. Before we sign off, I want to remind everybody we've been watching this on my iPhone. You can watch all of our shows on the iPhone, and a lot of people now are watching us, not watching us while they're driving, but they Bluetooth it to their radio, listen to us like talk radio. So you can be listening and watching Cinder Valley Talk, all local, all live, all the time, centralvalleytalk.com. We'll be right back.